Hello everyone, it's Aaron here from DIY Cinema Cult. I'm off to meet Marc, fulfilling our specific remit of being able to meet one person outside. We thought we'd make it a little bit of a different sort of podcast because it's been such a different kind of Christmas that instead of being separated in our sheds, we take advantage of the freedom to meet one other person, and we would, rather than being static, we would go on a bit of a stroll. We don't know where this will end up. Might be that it ends up going to a hiding to nowhere, or it might end up somewhere interesting.
Bloody hell, it's cold. So cold. Just waiting. I'm at the clock tower now. Said I'd meet Aaron here. It's suitably bleak, the weather, and I'm meeting him at the clock tower. I feel like I'm in The Third Man or something. I'm going to just wait by this little doorway and wait for him to show up. I can see him now. He's waving at me.
We're going to be taking you through the progress of our black comedy feature film.
Who are you, by the way? Nobody knows who we are.
Look at yourselves, sir. Realistically here, nobody's going to give you that money. Nobody. You don't know who the fuck you are. It's a complete risk. You are unknown.
This is our first feature film, something we're going to do together. You're going to get it warts and all.
For now, you're just some pair of idiots like everyone else.
So we just go into it?
I kind of think we could.
This is DIY Cinema Cult.
But we should probably explain what's going on, shouldn't we? So we kind of thought, because it's the end of year in some way, that it might be fun to take advantage, first of all, the fact that we can meet one other person. So here we are. That. But we thought we'd turn it into an opportunity to do a podcast as well.
So we're on our remote recorder and we are all plugged in, headphones in. Your headphones cable is 2 meters.
It's definitely
just enough for to be plugged into me without actually physically touching me.
It's definitely 2 meters long. So basically, we're walking the streets in that this is basically all that you can do. So we thought we'd turn it into something worth doing, didn't we? We thought let's go for a stroll and maybe talk about the year that's just gone.
In lovely wintery Crouch End.
It's pretty frosty. I have to say, there's kind of mist off in the distance and threats of snow apparently, and it feels the most kind of wintry out of all of the days so far over this whole Christmas stretch.
Yeah, definitely.
But our first mission is to find a place to kind of turn into an impromptu bar, because it wouldn't be a proper podcast if we didn't have ourselves fully stocked with a gin cocktail of some description or another, would it?
Well, we could either pause here outside the closed down library.
In true degenerate style, standing outside the library.
Or we could go to, because we're not really in the park at the moment, are we?
We're not in the park.
Around the streets.
Well, maybe this is sort of suitably sort of bleak to top ourselves up with a drink.
Come on, let's.
And then we'll walk and get on with it, shall we? I've got some mince pies for later.
Oh my God, you're so Christmassy.
I'm feeling a bit Christmassy, and one of my Christmas presents. I don't know what your sort of presents were this year.
Yeah.
But basically,
yours mostly gin based.
Generally gin based. So there was a couple of gadgets that I kind of bought myself.
Yeah.
And then generally, the rest of them were sort of relatively gin based. So for our listeners, I've got some options of flavoured gin here.
Very nice.
Little miniatures. And I have managed to bring a cup, so we're not sharing, which obviously wouldn't really...
God, you're so prepared. I was so unprepared. I was going to just buy you some cans from the off license.
Well, you'd be lucky if anything's open, but I suppose you can't get
you
can get takeaways, can't you? So here we go. So here's our cup. We may have to kneel to do this.
I just feel, I've got to get my glove on because it's so fucking cold.
So should we start on the elderflower gin?
Yep, let's do that.
Like the sound of that? Okay. So we've got 4 miniatures to get through. So let's see how far this gets us.
There we
go.
Lovely.
Oh,
there,
probably overdid that.
Yeah,
I'll pour it all in there, and you can square it up there. And then I got a little bit of a tonic.
Well, we've ended up the year looking like a couple of old street drunks. I'm pouring a bit of gin into yours.
In a way, it's kind of makes sense because we started not as street drunks, but as just sort of drunks in a shed.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's talk about that because it's like how at the start of the year we started our podcast thinking, where are we going to be at the end of the year in a year's time, and it turns out, we had no idea at the time that there was going to be this mad global pandemic about to smack us up.
Yeah, I need to stand on your right, don't I? I think that's the rule.
Hang on, I'm going to do that. And then
Well, I seem to remember we had conversations about going to Cannes.
Yeah. Oh, the optimism.
We were going to go to the Cannes Film Festival a year ago, I think. And we were
going to go up to Edinburgh. We were looking to go up to Edinburgh Festival, Fringe Festival, to look at some, maybe some acting talent for Routine.
Yeah, that's right.
We had all these lovely, lovely plans.
We had a lot of plans. We obviously were hoping that by now we'd be well underway with the production of Routine.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the original idea for the podcast, wasn't it? Let's film. Let's get this film made, but in the process, let's document us trying to do it. But have we really stuck to those original concept?
Maybe not. But what I actually really like is that, best laid plans of mice and men and everything.
Yeah.
Our plans have kind of faltered and changed along the way, and I suppose this podcast has kind of documented that in a way.
Yeah.
Routine was this film that we thought we would be able to get underway and funded, and as it turns out, we might have had to change tack a little bit in order to get that film made a bit further down the road, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe there's things we need to do first. So.
Well, we've also we did sort of change tact a little bit, thinking that maybe even before the pandemic hit, maybe we weren't adhering to fully DIY principles in some way, and that we needed to potentially work on a different project.
Yes.
Such as The Old Man that we talked about. But even that, we've kind of started to decide that perhaps that's not even fully DIY enough. And particularly with all of these restrictions that we find ourselves in, how stripped back can we go to make something? Yeah,
that's it. I mean, that's why I kind of suggested this other script, only because it is something that we could do completely stripped back.
Yeah, literally stripped naked.
Yeah.
What kind of film is this? I haven't seen the fully revised script yet. Slightly concerned.
Yeah. No, well, the thing is, I was well on my way to having it finished, and then you and me both got whacked with a crazy kind of work schedule.
Yeah, pre-Christmas.
As in work schedule for, work we have to do to pay our rent and feed our kids and stuff. And it just kind of got put on hold with everything else, but I'm hoping to pick it up now. Now we kind of got all that stuff out of the way. But yeah, I don't know, it's funny, this, in a way, what I kind of think, because what I do like about this year is that we have started off this podcast, and I think that's something to look back on and be quite thankful of and feel quite proud of, because we've kind of got this podcast started up from nothing.
Yeah.
And we haven't shaken the world up by any means or anything yet, but looking at our numbers and looking at our, the people listening, and just funny things like Russia. Suddenly, we've got some people in Russia who are suddenly listening now, which is weird because we've never had any listeners in Russia before. But just people listening to our nonsense in far off different countries we've never been to.
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of tickles me. And I also think that, maybe, the listeners that are going to, I think listeners will come to this podcast more once we've got a film made, because it'll be a way to kind of go back and listen to how the hell we actually pulled it off, or get a bit of background information on the film once it's out and once it's released. I think once we've got stuff either in the works, close to being completed or completed, that's when people will start to suddenly kind of latch onto this podcast.
But I think you're right that in a sense, the original ambition of the podcast has been sort of changed direction, and in a way, the new direction of it is itself. In some ways, that's not to say we're not going to make a film, and a film that kind of will adhere to DIY principles, because of course that's our aim. But the podcast itself has sort of become a thing in itself, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And I think also as well, like we were kind of not, like you say, not adhering maybe completely to DIY principles right at the start.
Yeah.
Should we do a write down here?
Yeah. We should just say to our listeners who obviously who have no idea where we are, our aim is to sort of embrace the environment a little bit, isn't it? We're going to kind of just wander. We thought we'd follow our nose in a. We're
going to amble around.
Amble and just find some places to sit and see where we end up, and see what stories it might provoke in us, and adventures.
So I think maybe we've been taught a couple of DIY lessons in the fact that maybe we started out on a certain track, realised that the difficulties and maybe maybe we should be, I think maybe at the start with routine, maybe we weren't thinking in a complete DIY mode, and we've slowed through talking to people, through chatting to some of the kind of lovely lovely filmmakers we have done.
Yeah, we've
got their own projects off the go. By the way, Prano Paley Bond has nearly finished their censor. I think she has completed it now.
Well, I was going to say it would be worth us talking about some of the contributors to the show, because obviously the projects that they've all been working on have been moving along, and I did notice indeed that Prano Bailey Bond has finished picture lock and grade on her film and has been accepted into Sundance.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Isn't that amazing? So
well done, Prano.
Yeah, well done to Prano. That's a fantastic achievement. Hopefully Sundance can be in real life, because obviously that would be pretty amazing. But even if not, it's probably one of the best shop fronts for an indie film that you could hope for, really, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Well done, Prano, and
excellent stuff.
It'd be lovely to maybe have her back on and chat about some of her experiences she's about to no doubt have with censor.
It's incredible. I saw just a couple of frames of it that she posted, and it looks, very much in her style, as sort of very beautifully shot horror kind of flavour, and I'm sort of quite proud in a way that we got her on at an early stage, and that things seem to be developing so well. Just saw somebody we know, and a friend of ours' daughter.
Our neighbourhood, eh?
Our neighbourhood. We're in the hood, aren't we, today?
We are in the hood.
We're in the hood. So somebody else who I've actually stayed pretty regularly in contact with is David Cecil, who obviously had been working on his film Imperial Blue.
Before you mention David Cecil, I must point out we are crossing over Sean's Road. Shaun of the Dead, aren't we?
Oh, okay, yeah, we're going.
That's Sean's house, and then this is where we walked across and got the.
So yeah, our listeners should know that we're currently in effectively the set of Shaun of the Dead, which, although it wasn't a DIY film entirely, it had a sort of aesthetic of a kind of, you know, punky, let's just get something made in our neighbourhood, because they all used to live around here, of course.
They did, yeah.
And we used to see them in the pub, him and Nick Frost, fairly regularly. And did I ever tell you the story about our mutual friend Steve?
Steve, yeah, my old flatmate, who
Your old flatmate, who
saw them in the pub while they were shooting Shaun of the Dead, and went up to them and said, "Oh, I love Spaced.
Yeah,
I love you guys in Spaced." And he says, "What are you up to now?" And one of them said, "Oh, we're doing like like a film, like a
zombie rom-com."
A zombie rom-com.
Yeah.
And Steve had a couple of drinks in him by that stage, and just went,
the rest.
And the rest, yeah, and just went, "Nah, don't see it," and then just walked off. And he forever kicks himself, because didn't they say shortly before he said that? Didn't they say, what's the name of the
Jessica?
actress?
Jessica's on her way.
Yeah, Jessica's on his way.
So we could have been friends with Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and Jessica from Spaced, which is a film that a TV program that we all loved, and they just finished Shaun of the Dead, but
Steve decided it was not going to
Steve,
be a goer.
our mutual friend, and once was sort of my manager in my music career, he kind of blew that for us by damning what was obviously a massive winner to the dustbin before even realising it.
He just slammed Shaun of the Dead before it even saw the light of day.
Oh well, so we just walked through pretty much the road and where all of it was set, past the newsagent where Nelson, the
that's right,
newsagent owner, sort of is. So
this was once Zombieland.
It's basically like Hollywood for us, isn't it? Walking around here, it's basically Hollywood. So I was talking about David Cecil. No. I just thought I'd kind of it's been interesting hearing kind of his updates, and I've been in touch with him about another project, which actually I'll probably mention at some point.
Yeah.
But his film Imperial Blue is now about to become out in the world. So they finished, and it is being released. And
excellent.
He's still in that strange netherworld of not quite being sure how much of a exclusive kind of situation that they'll be in. And when I talked to him recently, he said that what they're waiting on is to find out if the likes of someone like Mubi or Hulu, or Amazon or the likes would take it on as a kind of an exclusive. Yeah. And what apparently the way it works, because obviously everything's gone streaming. The world is kind of pretty much 100% streaming now. Cinemas haven't been open for the past 9 months particularly. He said that what they're hoping on is that you get some sort of exclusivity deal, and one of the big streamers will profile you, and there's potentially actually some money in that, so that they would have exclusivity for 12 weeks, 8 weeks or 6 weeks or the likes. They would give you some money, and they would market it strongly, so it would be in all of the emails that go out for the likes of Hulu or Mubi or whatever.
Nice.
So he's waiting on to see how that would go. So again, hopefully we can get him back on the show to tell us, what it's like to actually release a film, because obviously Prano's not quite released. She's about to do the festivals, but David and his partner Dan, who is the director, they're about to actually get the film out there in the world in this strange environment that we're currently in.
We're making a movie. It's so beautiful. Make it together. We're making a movie, man. We'll make it with love. I'm so happy. Johnny, man. We're making a movie. We're making a movie with love. This is amazing. Come together, everybody. Bring out your family and all your children, man. It's gonna be beautiful.
We are now, listeners, just wandering around the
Wandering
streets.
about,
We don't really know where we are.
No, but the gin's going down quite well.
It's very nice. I like that one.
It's all right, isn't it? It's sort of flavours, So, and then who else have we had on? Have we had any updates from any of our other? Have you heard anything of
Marc A.C. Brown.
Marc
we had on.
A.C. Brown, yeah.
He actually shot his film in lockdown, didn't he? He
Right.
shot Dead on the Vine, it's called.
Dead on the Vine,
And
yes.
From what I hear, I mean, obviously, the only thing I've seen is on Instagram or social media.
Yeah.
And I think he too has kind of locked a picture now.
Right.
He's close to doing so. She's been editing it in the recent months, and so yeah, I don't know I can't wait to see it actually.
So,
Can't wait to see the
what do we
final
know
film.
anything about the film? And it sort of sounds kind of in the comedy sort
I
of
believe,
horror type thing. Or...
Yeah, I believe it was all. They had this fantastic location that they could kind of just film in, which was like a vineyard,
Right.
in England, and it seemed to be like a fantastic location
Yeah.
that they could just have the runoff,
Oh, wow.
which is really helpful. So I think he pretty much wrote a script for the location.
Okay, which is sort of one of his DIY
yeah.
principles, which he talked quite a lot about, didn't he?
So he's gone and done it again. So I can't wait to see what he comes up with there.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see happen in the new year is fairly shortly, within the first couple of months of the year, is to see us shooting something. It just feels like when I started looking for locations for Old Man, people just seemed very nervous and scared about having people come to their what it was. I mean, we were looking for like a caravan site or for that particular storyline. But so yeah, it'd be nice just to kind of get ourselves working on something, a DIY project. And in a sense, these conditions this time forces you to be even more DIY than possibly you might be.
You are listening to the debut feature film podcast. This is DIY Cinema Cult.
We'll have to find another spot to have another drink. There's a good church down there. Graveyard.
I feel like we're in the Pogue song. I went down to the graveyard. Oh, I saw that. I saw the Julian Temple film.
How did you see it?
It's on. I rented it on YouTube.
You rented it on YouTube?
I've got into, because I don't really have Apple TV or anything like that, but you can rent films on YouTube. And it's pretty good, and I've done that quite a few times recently.
Right.
And it just popped up on YouTube. It's on YouTube, so you just go to YouTube. If you've got it I do it on like my iPad, and then I Chromecast it to my TV.
Yeah.
And it's fucking brilliant. I mean, it's there's a couple of things that are very off-putting about it. First of all, you kind of need to watch it with subtitles on, because Shane MacGowan is.
Well, there was a kind of bit of controversy about that, wasn't there? Whether it should have subtitles on or not.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, the copy that I saw doesn't have them natively, but I just selected to have them on because I couldn't understand a word he was saying. Secondly, Johnny Depp it pops up in it a couple of times. Obviously, he's producing the film.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
In a very, very strange accent. His accent changes because obviously he's one of these people that is. Without putting too fine a point on it, I think he's very much kind of into Shane MacGowan, likes him very much.
Yeah.
It's slightly a bit up his bum, maybe.
Sycophant. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what he does is basically, when it starts, his accent is fluctuating to kind of compliment Shane MacGowan and kind of be.
Oh right.
So he's trying to do an Irish accent. It doesn't quite come off. So when you first hear him speak, he sounds exactly like it's like a classic Ringo from the Beatles impersonation.
Oh no.
Then it kind of sways into Southern Irish, but in a very weird, affected way. So that's very off-putting. But luckily, he isn't actually in it too much. He just pops up a couple of points.
Because he's a sort of producer of it, right?
He's the producer of it, and I think he loves Shane MacGowan, and they seem to be. I get the impression that Shane MacGowan's quite flattered to have Johnny Depp as one of his big fans, so he loves him. So they just love each other, basically.
There's a bit of a circle jerk going on.
A bit of a circle jerk going on.
But what about as a film? Because obviously I'm a massive fan of Julian Temple as a documentary maker, and he's probably, to me, made the best rock and roll documentaries and music-based documentaries of the past 30 odd years. incredible use of archive, and
Yeah.
he seems to have a great way of kind of avoiding having a straight talking head, and
Yes.
there's an amazing sense of a sort of a kind of a tumbling world that you fall into. You know, I mean, the Filth and the Fury, the Sex Pistols documentary, is by far one of my favourites. But so what's
Yeah.
the
It's very
The
much
style.
like it's very much like that. It's exactly what you expect, and he's great subject matter,
Yeah.
Shane MacGowan, because his story just isn't straightforward. It's you get the impression that a lot of it is good storytelling, blarney and made up bullshit, and some of it's true and some of it's complete fabrication. And, but you kind of go, once you kind of accept that and just get into it, it's just brilliant fun.
right?
And Shane MacGowan is just a fantastic character who seemed to be at the forefront, quite literally at the forefront of punk from the very get-go.
Well, there's
He
certainly
was literally in the
pictures of
front
him,
rows. Yeah, he was just he was basically. He became one of the kind of main punk kids simply because he was at the front of every gig that was going, and he just looked absolutely fucking mental. Yeah, his kind of teeth knocked out, and he had like he was always the craziest looking, and
he's there's lots of quite famous footage of him, you know, right at the front of the Pogo in the middle of the Marquee Club.
Yeah.
In 1976 with the Pistols.
Yeah.
Obviously in another Julian Temple documentary, you know, as just mentioned, The Filth and the Fury.
Yes.
He's like an ever-present sort of figure, and there's another interesting little link in the friend we were just mentioning earlier, Steve.
Bumped into him in Thailand.
Bumped into him in Thailand, and said that he had always a pint of Baileys on the go.
Oh my God.
Pint of Baileys.
A pint of Baileys.
Hence the lack of teeth.
Oh, good God.
But he said he's got the dirtiest laugh you've ever known. There's a little film set down there.
Steve, I mean, I think someone should do a documentary about bloody Steve Vincent one of these days. But yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me that Steve kind of bumped into him and had a night on the piss with him.
Yeah, I think they spent a couple of days sort of basically buying him drinks in a pretty filthy bar somewhere in Thailand, and you can probably imagine the rest. But well, I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I'm obviously
very,
a big,
very good. Yeah,
big Julian
really
Temple
good.
fan, and there's something about his treatment of classic kind of rock stories that he does so brilliantly, and it's sort of been a bit of an influence on my style and approach to my free party film.
Of course. How's yours going, by the way? Is it?
It's okay. I've well, similar to the sort of lack of work that's been done on the on our film, that somehow pre-Christmas there was just so much kind of paid and commissioned film work that I couldn't really spend any specific time on it. So I've almost been waiting for a lockdown to stop the onslaught. But you know, considering how, like yourself, how uncertain things were, you just say yes to everything, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I'm desperate to get back into it again. There's been some interesting developments which I can't completely confirm as yet, but I had an email from somebody from a very large social media / crowdfunding organisation, which will remain nameless for the time being, suggesting that I put the film forward for a specific fund, and within a specific festival in Barcelona, interestingly. And gave me the impression, at least, that I was a dead cert on it.
Right.
And it's an interesting one, because what it would mean, and fingers crossed it comes out, but what it would mean wouldn't be traditional funding. What it would mean would be training in how to launch a very effective crowdfunding campaign.
Okay.
And not just training, but heroing your project on this particular platform. And that would obviously have the effect of drawing your audience beyond the core organic audience into to new audiences, because
Yeah.
we all know that you can put your stuff on Vimeo, or it can end up on wherever, various platforms, Kickstarter and Indiegogo and all of this. And effectively, the 40 people who fund that project are your parents, your friends, and whoever's kind of vaguely interested in 10% of your Facebook profile or Instagram.
Yeah.
So, beyond that, it's extremely unlikely that you're going to stumble across any new audience members. But what this training is there to do is to headline you, so that, it would be the equivalent of, should we take a seat on this bench?
It
It would be the equivalent of film of the week, project of the week, etc.
Nice.
So it's encouraging, because I think I've been very tempted to run a crowdfunder, but I wanted to get my timings right, because first of all, people aren't made of money at the moment, so I want it to be something that's sort of a goer at the right time, that's the right kind of thing. But you also don't want it to disappear without a trace. And I'm hoping that with the backing of somebody like that it would have more of a chance of a sort of substantial bit of funding, rather than just your mum and your mates. So we're now in the middle of a 12th century churchyard, actually. I know this is 12th century because I came past here with my kids the other day and found out that it's the 12th century. So it's a perfect place to me to drink gin.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are we feeling? So there is the orange marmalade Welsh gin.
Oh, I like the sound of orange
I quite like the sound of that.
I've been banging into my marmalade recently.
I love a marmalade.
Yeah, I love a marmalade.
I don't know what it is. It's sort of, my kids don't like it, but...
Is it we're getting old? Because marmalade, I always think...
It's comforting.
It reminds me of my granddad used to eat marmalade and have a cup of tea on a Sunday morning.
It's a slice of toast and a bit of marmalade. There's something perfect about it. It's about right.
Oh, lovely. So I had so Chewing Gum Man was on TV the other night. I haven't chatted about that yet. So
I was so proud.
It was lovely to see it. It was lovely to see it, but I think I also said to you as well. It was kind of terrifying in the sense that, suddenly, Chewing Gum Man was a DIY experiment, shall we say, in how much can you get away with completely doing it on your own.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it 100% on my own. Obviously, I hired like Amanda to do a day shooting.
But I mean, it was as one-man band as a project as you could imagine,
and
really.
Obviously someone to do the music. But other than that, it was just like a self-shooting exercise in making a little mini doc. And so, but then you never really think, oh well, then that's going to get on telly or it'll be broadcast or what have you. So when it finally does, you suddenly go, oh God, I didn't actually really think it was going to go.
It was on telly.
I don't really think telly. I thought it might have been online or at festivals or what have you. So, and you just become hyper aware that, obviously the thing about making things DIY, you don't have broadcast quality monitors to check your picture, or you don't have a brilliant kind of audio system, edit suite to check your audio mix and. So everything was kind of done through headphones in my bedroom, and just when it was on TV, that was the time I really went, I could have if I just done a bit more here and done a bit more there, and you obviously have that anxiety of seeing your stuff on TV.
So what was it? What were the main concerns when you saw? Because obviously you've seen it on a screen numerous times, but when it's suddenly next to the adverts, what was it that jumped out at you that was sort of wasn't to the standard you would wish?
First thing I immediately noticed was my mix was quite low, like the audio level just seemed quite low.
Yeah. But is there not standards that?
What I think might have happened is, because I remember when I used to work at the like in TV companies like the BBC or what have you, whenever you make a bit of VT or you make some graphics, it goes to be tested, and you get legalised. There's obviously legal limits that certain things, luminance and your picture levels can be. So it felt like, because I wasn't able to test that broadcast quality, it probably went through some limiter straight for this picture for starters, but also maybe audio did as well.
Yeah.
And it just got clipped. They're not going to go back to me and say, I think the only reason they possibly would have come back to me if my edit was a bit rapid, if I had lots of kind of one frame edits and stuff, they would have gone, can we snip that bit out?
Yeah.
But I think because they're buying up so much programs and from left, right and centre, I think they honestly just, in the case of mine, they just put it through a limiter and they just legalise it and then it could be broadcast. And I did notice, the blacks were way more crushed, it was a touch darker, and I'd given it quite a dark, not a dark grade, but I'd made it quite punchy and the blacks were quite black.
Yeah.
So, and I could just tell it had been tweaked that little bit extra, almost
they
a tad
shoved
too
it
much.
through some extra
They
grading.
shoved it through. They squeezed it through some little kind of grader or something to get it legal. And the audio mix, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was just listening through headphones and thought it sounded fine when it was going through my headphones and nice and loud. But obviously, squeezed through a broadcaster than after your TV. And my TV's a bit shit as well, so that's another thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's TV is different.
Yeah.
So you never really get it the way you see it when you're cutting it or when you're kind of making it or mastering it yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's I haven't had any stuff of mine on broadcast
Cheers, by the way.
TV. Cheers. I thought we'd adorn the drink with a little mince pie as well. We've got a couple of those to get through.
But I think what it taught me about, obviously we're talking about things we learn DIY along the way, was the thing it taught me about DIY filmmaking is DIY doesn't mean solitary. Don't do things on your own. It's about building up a crew of people that you can work with, that you all kind of have the same mindset, because you still need those expertises. It's great to try things out. I think in a way, Chewing Gum Man was a tryout film for me. I was like, you know what? I'd love to do my own audio mix. I'd love to grade my own documentary. And of course, it was a lovely experience. But, if I had known at the start it was going to be on Sky TV, I probably would have given it to somebody else to do.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So,
But you did well on the numbers.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing. Yeah. So the next day, my friend Steve calls up. Steve Houghton. He's a producer and editor at the BBC, and he has access to the overnight numbers of people's viewing figures and what have you. So he just texted me and he said, "So do you want to know what your numbers were for last night?" And I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, absolutely." And let me see if I can remember now. Our average figures was 17,000 people watched. That was the average, but what he said was quite incredible about it was that when the program started, we were 10,000 people viewing, and by the end of it, it was 21,000 people.
Oh, I love it.
So that was great.
So that's people telling their mates, "Oh, you've got to turn on the telly now. There's this brilliant program."
So that was fantastic. And what I was really pleased with as well was because we were kind of like the support film for a feature-length doc about Cold War Steve, who's like a Birmingham artist. He works a lot in collage, and we kind of got loads more viewers than his, and we were like the support film for him. Not to gloat over Cold War Steve or anything, but I was expecting us to do way worse than him. But so that I was really, really chuffed about.
Yeah, it's the closest I think that TV can get to like being in a band or something, isn't it? Where you can find out what the numbers are, and you get your ratings or whatever. Because we talked about it before, that there's something quite depressing about you spend all this time working on something and then you hit a button and then it's just uploaded somewhere and then it's watched, and there's no real way to get a sense of what the audience will be experiencing in any way. Or obviously, if you're in a band, you get to make a racket and people in front of you respond to it by telling you you're shit, or they're jumping up and down, going mental, or something in between. And I'm always sort of, in some ways, sort of relating film back to that experience. We've talked about film festivals are kind of are great because you get to hear the reaction of the audience, right? So you talked about it with your film We Are What We Drink, and comedy and getting people laughing at the right moments, and that. But for sort of the televisual experience, all that you really have is well, maybe you get some reviews. Maybe you get some likes on YouTube. Maybe you get some comments. Or in your case, at least, you've got some numbers.
Yeah, we got some good numbers. And I think you get like a percentage, you get your percentage of the viewing public for that night or that point in time. So for that point in time, for the whole of Britain, we got something quite depressing, but obviously I quite like to see it. It was like 0.001% of the viewing public was watching Chewing Gum Man. Oh, I'll take that. That's fine.
That's where the stuff of dreams are built from, Mark.
Yeah, it's not bad for a little DIY film that, you know, was just done in my bedroom. It's fine.
Yeah. So set the scene for our audience here. I feel like we're kind of in a bit of a film set at the moment.
We are pretty much, without dressing it up too much, we are pretty much in the graveyard of a church.
Yep.
It's Christmas time ish. We're on the tail end of Christmas time.
We're in the perineum of Christmas.
The perineum of the year. You know, it's nice. You know, what is Christmas without sitting drinking in a graveyard? I mean, it's actually a very Christmassy thing to do. It's in all the movies.
Well, this is true. Usually this is the point where you meet some sort of down and out Santa kind of character.
Yeah.
And,
it's very Home Alone there too.
Yeah, and you know, the down and out Santa, he's got a pretty amazing story. He used to be, you know, well, he was real Santa, but now he's a kind of down and out, and he's kind of he's trying to ponce your gin off you.
Yeah.
And but then he takes you on a magical adventure somewhere.
Magical adventure, and you never look at old drunk men in churchyards the same ever again.
And quite such
kind of opens your eyes to them.
To the potential that perhaps they are.
They might be recording a podcast. You know?
They might be recording a podcast. Or they may be a down and out Santa about to take you on a magical adventure, or both, which is what we are today. Down and out Santa's taking you on a magical adventure.
I think we could. We're the kind of guys who could just disappear on a magical adventure in a minute.
How's this?
This
The
is a
variation
nice
of gin?
This was the marmalade one, right?
Ooh. Very sweet, very kind of orangey.
Yeah.
It's pretty delicious. Basically, from here on in, we've got no tonics, so it's neat.
It is.
Neat.
Yeah, definitely magical adventure going on in the graveyard. Speaking of Shane MacGowan and his pint of Baileys, which does actually sound quite nice, actually. I've been getting into coffee with Baileys for the milk.
Oh, right.
That was my Christmas morning drink.
Nice, yeah, it's proper.
I had one actually on
alky.
Boxing Day morning as well, and the other day as well. Oh, and I did it's become a bit of my tradition, recent Christmas tradition, which is my Boxing Day cry.
Oh, did you ever cry?
I had another cry on Boxing Day.
Did you try and cry? Because we talked about the story of you crying, and I thought it was it was fantastic. Have we told the story of the original Boxing Day cry?
No. So just for our viewers, so maybe 2 Christmases ago, it was Christmas Day. You know, me and Debbie had a lovely time Christmas Day. My partner Debbie, and then she had to work Boxing Day.
She was out on a shoot or something, wasn't she?
She went, and it was before we had our little baby, and I didn't have my boys with me, so she was off. She was off working. I was completely home alone on Boxing Day with just nothing but like a fridge full of leftover Christmas dinner and lots of booze.
Perfect.
And so I thought to myself, I'm going to spend the day really constructive. I'm going to go and, you know, watch lots of movies and just chill out and have maybe a little whiskey maybe and just have a relax.
I love the way that's considered a productive start to the day.
And what happened was I sat down in front of the TV and they had the making of Mary Poppins on.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, I'll just watch a bit of this. And then after it, they had Saving Mr. Banks,
right.
The film about their making. the Mary Poppins film. And so I kind of just sat there and I had a couple of whiskies and then a couple more, and then I might have had a Baileys. And then I thought, oh, well, actually, I was running out of most stuff, but then I thought, oh, they've got some port left over that we had, for cheese.
Keep going.
Kept going. And I ended up getting so absorbed into Saving Mr. Banks. I watched the whole movie, and right up until Debbie came home from work, and I was just in blubs of tears on my sofa, streaming down my face, just having the best cathartic Boxing Day cry.
A kind of melancholic sob. Happiness, delirium, drunkenness, and a kind of and then a sorrow somewhere,
because
all mixed together.
I think there's nothing better than a Boxing Day cry, because of course I might shed a little tear at emotional parts in movies during the year.
Yep.
But that's within the context of, I've got to go to work tomorrow, or I've got to bath the baby, or I've got to do something, I've got to cook dinner. But when you're watching an emotional film on Boxing Day, and you're drinking fairly heavily, and you've got nothing else to think about, worry about. You can just let go.
I love the idea of this. Just the floodgates have been open since the start.
Yeah.
So you're setting yourself into a kind of reverie.
Yeah.
And getting ready for whatever's about to hit you.
Yeah.
And enjoying the whole process, no matter what.
Yeah. So Boxing Day, got this one gone. I was at home with Debbie and the baby, but the baby went to sleep.
Mm.
Me and Debbie had a little drink. I had a couple of whiskies, and we watched Forrest Gump.
Oh, it's it's Tom Hanks, that bastard.
He does it to me every time.
That bastard, Tom
And
Hanks.
I hadn't seen Forrest Gump since it came out, like in 1991 or whatever it was. So I was a bit like, I don't even really know what happens in this film.
Yeah.
I couldn't really think about it. I can't really remember. Anyway, so I watched it, and it was very kind of plucking at your heartstrings.
Mm.
But I knew it was doing it, and I thought, just fuck it, I'm going to let it do it to me anyway. And because it was my Boxing Day cry, my annual cry, I thought, I'm going to be, just bring it on. And it happened when the bit where, I don't know if you can remember, he finds out he has a son.
Yeah.
And there's just that bit where it's brilliantly done, but he goes, because it makes you realise that Forrest Gump is completely self-aware, like he knows he's not very bright and everything. Yeah. And he asks the actress who plays is this love of his life. She goes, "It's your son." And Tom Hanks goes, "Is he clever or is he?" And he kind of gestures towards himself. And as he does that, he just bursts into tears. He can't hold it back anymore. He bursts into tears because he doesn't want him to be an idiot like him.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh my God. Oh God.
Oh.
Yeah.
A proper, it gets you.
It got me.
I mean, I don't know whether it's just the era that it was made, but somehow I've got this block about Forrest Gump.
I did as well.
Yeah, but it's unblocked you.
One thing I got a bit slightly depressed about was because it was early 90s and it was clearly made in this very optimistic time.
Yeah.
In world history, but also American history, especially felt apparent to me, in that it was a film really about people getting on with one another. Yeah. There's no, Forrest Gump is completely colourblind. He, in terms of kind of race and what have you. He's so open-hearted. He's so inclusive and welcoming, and it was clearly made in a different time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt how sad that we didn't progress from that time. We went backwards.
Well, it's very interesting you say that, because obviously I'm looking at that era in my film, and one of the key things about the end of the 80s was there was obviously the collapse of the Cold War. Nuclear threat had been reduced. We'd kind of got rid of the divisive politics of Thatcher and Reagan, albeit still a sort of neoliberal kind of world government, but there was a sense of, let's get rid of all the divisiveness and let's start to embrace each other. And of course, the rave scene was a great example of that. The fall of the Berlin Wall, etc. You're right. In a way, I'm at the process with the edit of the film at the moment. Is I'm trying to put people in that world. Yeah. And doing it through a little bit of archive and also, testimony, but also trying to do it in an abstract way, as in, can we all remember when there was a time where we were at the end of something which felt kind of awful, and we were released from that, and now we are just so happy to be together. And I was also trying to ponder whether this could relate to people now, because we're sort of in the middle of something still awful. And okay, well, there's been an interesting result in America with Trump, but we're now no longer part of the European Union. So again, the European Union was, with all its flaws, was a sense of, well, I can go anywhere now.
Yeah.
I can just get on a train and I can just end up at, the other side of this continent, and I can live there. I could get married to somebody there. I could just decide I'm going to be, Italian now, or I'm going to be whatever I want to be.
Yeah.
And it was this sense of borders collapsing, albeit with various issues. And now, weirdly, we're literally at what feels like the opposite of that, in that we're in this time of great polarity with race issues and nationalism, and we're literally a week ago, we were literally a plague island with a border that you couldn't get out of this country or into this country if you tried. You can't.
We were like a leper colony.
We're a leper colony, and it's like, okay, it's not just a temporary thing, but it was almost like a kind of an image of what the world is going to be like in some ways, as in, yes, okay, apparently Auntie Santa Boris has got herself a deal, and this is all going to make everything fine. But when it comes down to it, we've been separated from our nearest neighbours in some way. Yeah. And there's a sense of the world's still very separated. So I'm just wondering if somehow the pandemic and the climate crisis that's going on, is there going to be some end game at the end of that will take us back to something akin to that early 90s experience? I don't know.
God, I hope so. I really hope so.
And is in times of these sorts of crisis, is it a good time to be creative? Is it a good time to be the DIY filmmaker?
Well, I think we'll definitely get films that are very beautiful and creative and kind of uplifting and reflect that, but I don't think they're necessarily going to be reflecting positive elements of our existence.
But people kind of seem to want to escape more, don't they? So
yeah, it's just even like thing I'm writing at the moment, the script Stutter, that we're going to take a look at maybe making as a DIY film. It seems to be a lot about isolation and the character who is completely isolated. Firstly, because on a technical level, that'll be easier for us to make because we won't have access to lots of kit or actors places or what have you. But also because that kind of feels like it's the right thing to make right now, because it's what we're experiencing, it's where we are. In many ways, the technology kind of isolates us for starters, but also politically, we've just left Europe. Yeah,
put a big wall up on Dover.
And it just feels like we're so cut off now, and I'm so used to growing up in this European community that you just feel so connected to everyone.
Well, obviously some people didn't in some way,
No.
You are listening to DIY Cinema Cult.
We got through that last drink quite quickly, didn't we?
Let's do it.
So from here on in, it's all neat.
And what's this one called?
This is an Edinburgh Gin Distillery raspberry liqueur. So here we go round the mulberry bush.
I was just thinking maybe we should just turn this into kind of a gin podcast, 100%. And it's just us on park benches drinking gin.
Well, I mean, what I did, on your recommendation, actually, I watched the Paul Whitehouse and
lovely.
And Bob Mortimer Goes Fishing.
Oh, isn't it just
over
brilliant?
Christmas? Yeah, and I'm reminded of our experience now. In some ways, we're sort of like doing a DIY cinema version of Paul Whitehouse and Bob Mortimer. They get to go to quite nice exotic locations and catch fish, and then have a beer at the end of the day, and then talk depressingly to Chris Rea, who looks like a homeless guy.
Fucking hell, that Chris Rea episode was unreal.
I mean, it was staggering, wasn't it?
I remember seeing, because I saw a clip of it. Must have been maybe the promo for the show, or maybe they had a little clip up front of what was going to happen. And I thought it was like a comedy character. I thought they brought in like somebody from the Far Show or something, but it was Chris Rea.
It was Chris Rea, yeah.
Amazing.
Chris Rea, emaciated, apparently at the peak of his fame, 1994, according to the story on the film at least, the peak of his sort of pop stardom, you know, if you could call it that, in 1994, early 90s, like we were just talking about, he got ill in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
And it was progressively worse and worse, and he thought he was going to go.
He nearly pegged it, didn't he?
He nearly kicked the bucket. It was just a litany of different sorts of terrible things happening to him. And then he gave in anticipation of him kicking the bucket, he gave all of his financial kind of rights to his ex-wife at the time.
Yeah.
And then he survived. And now she owns everything, and he's
I'll
on his
read,
arse.
love. It's me again. Do you mind giving me some of that stuff back,
I think
please?
I'm all right, actually. I think I'm going to survive.
I felt a bit bad there for a minute, but you know what? I
was a
feel
bit
grand
piggy.
now. Can I have all that cash back, please?
He gave all of his publishing rights and everything to his tunes.
No.
And this is, I did think when I was watching, I was thinking maybe this, maybe it was an unconscious inspiration for our podcast today, which is, although there's not much fishing, there's quite a lot of gin drinking.
But it's a lovely programme, isn't it? I really do love watching it.
It is lovely, and there's definitely a deep sense of melancholy. There's definitely a sense of people looking back at their life in some sort of existential way.
Yeah.
And it's got a feel-good touch to it because they're both nice guys.
Yeah.
And funny.
Funny characters.
Yeah, Bob Mortimer sort of like doesn't stop being kind of his silly kind of childlike self. And Paul Whitehouse is sort of almost being dragged along.
Yeah, he's a bit grumpier. He kind of...
Yeah, a bit grumpier.
Debbie was like, I don't like that Paul Whitehouse. He's always having a go at... And I think he kind of plays up to that character of like the grumpy friend, and Bob Mortimer just annoys him. Yeah, yeah. Because you can tell there's like, they love each other very, very much, really. But it's just I think it's a brilliant show. And
did someone tell me that the story goes that where the idea came from was that Bob Mortimer was actually very, very depressed, and Paul Whitehouse kind of really brought him out of it by taking him fishing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Bob Mortimer had quite a serious heart episode and needed to go for some pretty heavy surgery. And then following the surgery, he was quite obviously down in dumps and nervous, but didn't like his new life, all the new things he couldn't eat and had to eat and couldn't drink and such and such. And Paul Whitehouse had a heart attack or had major heart surgery a couple of years before. So he kind of dragged him out of it and he said, look, come with me, I'll take you fishing, I'll teach you some bits and pieces. And then it just became a TV show.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I did think there was something...
oh, this is nice, this one.
This is
very
nice.
Sweet, though.
This is the raspberry. They're getting sweeter and sweeter.
Yeah.
So, as they get neater and neater, they kind of need to be sweeter and sweeter.
Oh, wow. We'll have teeth like old Shane MacGowan by the end of this.
Yeah, little pegs. Now I'm feeling particularly weird because there's someone over there doing a workout.
I know, yeah, look at that.
As we get ourselves steadily
I've seen quite a few people
pissed.
jogging and doing workouts, and I just cannot think of anything worse right now because I used to be running quite a lot before Christmas. I don't think I can manage it for quite a while. Another couple of weeks off, maybe.
Not in the Perineum, not in the Frosty
Not
Perineum.
in the Perineum, no.
With the Paul Whitehouse one, what I quite liked about it was that, in a way, it was the low-budget version of Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan's The Trip.
Yeah.
And now we are the very, very DIY version of both of them.
The low version.
We're the lowest of the low-end version of the both of them. Yeah. But thankfully, we're not quite as old, so we've still got time.
We've got a couple of years on them.
We could,
if anyone makes a lower budget version of this,
I'd be excited to see that.
I would be excited to see it too, and I'm maybe a little bit depressed for the people making it.
What would be a lower budget version of our podcast experience today?
It might be, it might be kind of a drunk lying a bit further over in those gravestones, just talking into his iPhone.
That's
on his
basically
own.
us in about an hour, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
On his own.
On his own, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's basically just me.
Maybe not recording himself, just kind of chatting.
Yeah. But we, because we've got the gadgets here. I've got my nice new radio mic, and you've got your Zoom
Yeah.
recorder, and got a sort of nice microphone. We're at least semi-pro, aren't we?
Semi-pro, we're getting there, aren't we?
Prosumer.
Prosumer, yeah.
Prosumer, just that step below semi-pro. Something that's just still a bit cheap, is going to fall apart fairly quickly, but you can get half decent quality out of it.
Yeah.
You are listening to DIY Cinema Cult.
So what do you reckon in a year's time? Because I've got a depressing feeling that we joked at the very start of the podcast saying, where are we going to be in a year's time? And I said, we're going to be sipping cocktails around the pool in Cannes or something bullshit like that.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened, spoiler
No.
alert. But what do we reckon in a year's time, this time next year?
Well, I suppose I'm hoping for a spring, some sort of awakening of energy generally, in that, you hope that the worst of the pandemic is behind us there. There's vaccines and all the rest of it coming out. It'll be spring. And restrictions, you hope, will be much, much less.
Yeah.
And there'll be maybe a little sense of a mini optimism, a sort of, we've got to get out of this fog, this kind of, lack of contact with other people.
Yeah.
And maybe what this will do is provoke a certain degree of optimism, maybe for kind of makers, as in, now we can go off and do stuff. But let's just go, life's too short, let's go and make. So I'm hoping that this year we're in production, in a substantial way on a feature. And that by the end of this year, maybe we've finished the shoot.
Yeah.
And at the very least, we've got something in the can, and we're ready to go into post. And that's always a nice feeling of like, we know it's in there.
Yeah.
We've got to coax it out. So I would feel like we've really done something if we could shoot this year, and at the end of next year, by this time next year, it's in the can. That'd be pretty awesome.
And we can start on the edit, start noodling with the pictures.
I think that would be good.
I think that sounds like a good place to be.
We've got one more minute to go.
Yeah, I'll do that and then we'll...
Now this one might not be as tasty as the others, but let's see what it is. So we've got...
Thanks for bringing one of your Christmas presents along and sharing it.
In a way, I'm thinking it's better that it's done during the Frosty Perineum than lingering into the new year, because if there's any sense of like, okay, I need to start sort of getting a bit fitter and healthier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's after the Frosty Perineum, isn't it?
Exactly.
So this is a no fucking about Violet Gin by J.J. Whiteley.
Okay.
Neat.
This
may be an interesting ride. Let's hope for a reverie.
Do you think it's going to taste like those violet sweets? What were they called?
What were they?
Parma violets. Isn't that what they were called, those little sweeties when you were kids?
Parma violets. Sounds like a character in Coronation Street. I can't remember Parma violets. I'm
gonna fact check that. I might be talking absolute bullshit.
Yeah. Were they sort of a little bit like dandelion and burdock or something?
Yeah, and they were like, remember they used to come in a little tube of, they're all wrapped up in a kind of together in a tube shape, and they were, violet in colour. Oh no!
I've spilt a bit of my gin.
Oh shit! Here you go, have some of this one.
Oh, how depressing! There you go.
Hopefully that's
in an hour's time. It will be me next to the next to that headstone over there, with
just talking
into my iPhone. What is the one lower Well,
So where do you think we should head out of here? Go to up in that direction, or
yeah, we could head that sort of way. Just thinking.
although you're that way, aren't you?
No, I'm kind of that way.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm kind of that way. You're kind of that way.
Oh, am I? Okay, I've lost my bearings already. I'm never getting out of this graveyard.
So it's going to
This
be
is
you.
just where I want to live
It's
now.
going to be you behind the gravestone. It's not going to be me at all. Another mince pie?
I'm all right, actually.
What?
Oh, wow, that's really violet-y. Have you
Is it
tasted
really violet-y? It's a bit violet. Let's have a look.
Ultraviolet.
Woo!
There you go.
I say, that's quite pokey, that.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. It's,
Yeah, because those
smells
palm,
like your nan's
violet.
soap.
Yeah, exactly. This is it. It's quite like those sweets I was talking about.
Yeah.
They used to be quite perfumey, which I think this is what you would call that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, some of the other ones you'd probably have a couple of those, but that is, one or two sips is probably enough.
Yeah.
Although it's quite strong. 38.6% down the hatch. Anyway, well,
Anyway,
cheers.
cheers. Thank you,
Cheers.
mate, for bringing those.
Yeah, happy Frosty Perineum.
Happy Frosty Perineum.
Oh,
That is serious business.
that really is serious business. Oh,
Oh, well, Aaron, it's been lovely having a little Frosty walk with you.
yeah, it's been good having a stroll through the Frosty Perineum, isn't it?
Yeah. And we've ended quite aptly, like we all will eventually, in a graveyard.
In a graveyard, yeah.
You gonna get buried, or are you gonna get cremated?
I've always thought cremation.
I just want to finish on a positive note, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's have a happy ending. I've always thought cremation.
Yeah, I think cremation too.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be another kind of something clogging up a load of
You
land.
just take so much space up. I mean, look at that in front of us,
It's a kind of broken mausoleum with like weeds growing out of it.
and it's like, why? That's just a lot. I mean, first of all, that's a lot of real estate,
It's a lot of real estate. Yeah,
and there's kind of no need for it.
no.
You're kind of just cluttering up the place, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's something nice about sitting in a graveyard drinking gin, but so in that sense, as a place, it's quite nice. But
Yeah.
the specific purpose of being, a memorial, I'm not so sure about really.
Yeah.
You would hope that in some way, that rather than a gravestone, that your life becomes your memorial in some
Yeah,
way.
absolutely.
So that your work, the relationships that you've had, the things that you have given, you've done in the world become the memorial. And, nobody thinks about, let's go and have a look at David Bowie's grave.
Yeah.
You just listen to his tunes, or you watch Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah. Oh God, does that mean they're going to listen to this podcast when we die and go, oh, listen to them drinking that marmalade gin in the graveyard? Wasn't that good?
This is our gravestone.
But I think there's something quite elemental about being cremated. You're kind of back
too.
into the elements. You're back into the ether again. Whereas being stuck in the ground under a stone that has your name written on it, it's a bit basic, isn't it?
You're waiting for the worms, aren't you? Really waiting for the worms.
It's not very enlightened. You kind of want to be back in the mix again.
Yeah. I have always thought that I wouldn't mind if someone dedicated a little bench like this to me somewhere on Hampstead Heath, or because sometimes you sit on a bench like this when you're doing a podcast, and you see a little note, and it says, to
Mavis used to love sitting here.
Yeah, used to love this view. Used to drink gin, raspberry gin, during the Frosty Perineum, and something about that feels kind of a bit more profound, really. So I think torch me, spread the ashes somewhere interesting, and then a little bench or a tree or something that you can plant in my name. I'd be fine with that.
I agree. Anyway.
Well, I'll see you in the ether.
Yeah.
on Twitter at DIY Cinema Cult, or on Instagram we are DIY_cinema_cult. Seek out the DIY Cinema Cult group on Facebook, or why not email us at DIYcinemacult@gmail.com. Follow us.